Hey, what's up there, Business Freedom Podcast listeners? Lars Hedenborg, founder of Real Estate B School. Another good, bad, ugly edition of the podcast. Today, I want to get into something really that has shifted within me last couple years or so. This shift from the short game of business to the long game of business. So the title of today's podcast is, Are You Playing the Long Game? And when I turned 44, so I'm 45 now, 45 and a half. When I turned 44, I was literally in Hilton Head, and I was running as I was listening to a book by Bob Buford called Halftime. And it was, the focus of the book was, making the shift from success to significance. And in men's lives, that shift usually comes in the fourth quarter of their life, when it's sometimes too late to sort of have your life stand for something. And my big takeaway from that, so the book talks about basically moving, most men realize that, oh crap, in the fourth quarter of their life, they spent too much time the first three quarters focusing on things that didn't matter, and accumulation, their career, and they sacrifice relationship with their spouse or their children or their physical health or their spiritual health, and to shift that transition to the third quarter of their life. So I was 44 years old, and I'm like, wow, this literally is halftime for me. It is 44 years in for Lars Hedenborg. And I had this awakening almost that, I'm going to have a good 88 years on this earth. Who knows what's going to happen. In my mind, though, I'm like, 44 is halftime. And how can I make this third quarter count in a way where I'm building something that has this life beyond me? And it really forced me in a lot of ways to look at my business differently, to get my name off my real estate team, to look at my business coaching company differently, looking at the way I serve my family, my community. I now serve in two organizations here locally that are, fighting child homelessness in my city, Charlotte, North Carolina. My giving has gone through the roof. I'm taking care of my body differently. I'm making better long-term decisions for my health in terms of eating, so the point I want to make for you, though, is how are you looking at your business? I was reading a book recently, and it was called, it's a book on habits. And in the book, it talked about, the analogy was with a marathon. So are you training for a marathon, or is your goal to run a marathon or to become a runner? And I'm like, in 2015, I ran a marathon. And ironically, I had just started running again, like a week into running again from 2015. So this is over 3 years later. I've not fallen completely out of shape. I am nowhere near marathon shape. And so I go out for my 3 mile run at the first week of this 12-week half marathon training. And it nearly, like, my lungs were on fire to run 3 miles at a 10-minute pace. And I did the first 20 miles of this marathon at a 9-minute pace. I didn't finish the last 6 miles great, I'll be honest with you. But it really struck me, like, in business, are you looking to crush this year, short-term goals, and you put these crazy goals out there? Or are you looking to become a business person? Are you looking to get to 50 sides this year? Or are you looking to sell 5,000 homes in the next 10 years? Are you doing the work today to become a business owner, where you have a business worth owning? It's a sustainable business. It's one that runs virtually without you. I mean, there's steps you can take to set your business up in the real estate industry where you are going to solidify your position in the market. And what I mean by that is that lots of stuff are changing in our market. And if you're not making the decision, so for my real estate team, we are making the decision that we're going to be a premium provider of buyer and seller real estate services, the Ritz-Carlton of real estate services. So discounter model isn't going to affect us. We're going to provide such an amazing service, a premium service, that we will be referable at the highest level. And so that, I think, is one of the only ways to succeed at a high level in real estate in the future. And to do that, it takes on this long-term view of business, where it may feel better to run one staff member less for the year because we can afford, that. We can give a better level of service if we have that person on. So just think about that in your real estate business or different areas of your life. Are you playing the long game? Are you really playing the long game of business? Are you making the decisions today to build a business worth owning? And if you look back 1, 2, 3 years, are you any further along in terms of having whatever, a leverage business, a scaled business, a sustainable business, a systems driven business? Are you achieving what you want to achieve? If you stay in the same path that you're on now, will you have regrets? If you stay in the same path that you're on now, will you have regrets? That's a question I ask myself a lot. And, in Real Estate B School, we are constantly wrestling with the time, money, stress equation. And here's a question worth asking yourself every week from now until eternity, really any industry that you're in. And it's the question, is the amount of money I'm making for the time I'm investing with the level of stress I'm experiencing worth it? Time, money, stress, right? In real estate, we have this opportunity to set it up in a way where buyers and sellers are getting a service that is over the top. Our team members are making more money than they could, experiencing a quality of life that's better than if they weren't on your team, and a level of profit for you as the person that puts all the different pieces together. And if you're not building that, then what are you doing, right? Is your plan to stay on the path you're on now and sell 15, 20, 25 homes a year, or 40 or 50 homes a year, working 7 days a week, right? Or to build it out in a way where it is the premium provider of real estate services in your market, and build that. That to me sounds awesome. Be the Nordstrom of real estate, the Disney of real estate, the Mercedes or BMW of real estate, the Ritz-Carlton of real estate, whatever your analogy is, be that. Why go with the economy model when you can build something that gives a better experience for your clients? So that's the challenge, to play the long game of business. And when you make that shift mentally, so when you make the mindset shift around, I'm playing a long game of business, you don't get that caught up in a setback with a bad hire, or a setback with a market shift, or, it doesn't, throw you off if like Zillow opened up an operation in my market. That doesn't really affect me because I'm playing a different game than they're playing. They can't possibly compete with the way that I'm building my business. So are you playing the long game? And then translate that question into different areas of your life. Are you playing the long game with the way you're serving your children? Are you setting them up to be the kind of people that you want them to be 20 years from now? Are you feeding into your marriage, serving your spouse in a way where you're going to have an amazing relationship 20 years from now? Are, spiritually with your faith, are you investing the time in that relationship on a daily basis where it's going to grow over time? And the same thing, the impact in your community. In 20 years, what's the impact going to be with the amount of effort you put into helping your community? So not to get all preachy at the end there, and there are just different ways to view this question. Are you playing the long game? Or are you playing the short game? Are you going to, is the goal to run a marathon or become a runner? That's the question. So have a lot of love and respect for all of you. If you ever get to the point where, your business is unmanageable, but it's a good business, you've achieved traditional success and it just sucks, and your time is not your own, and you're stressed, and your spouse is pissed because you're working all the time, your kids don't really get to see you, or when you're with them, you're really not present. I say all of that. It rolls off of my tongue because I've been there and our members have been there. Just go to realestatebschool.com, get on the phone with us, do a business growth strategy session, and there's no obligation. The only agenda, and it's not for everybody, if business coaching is your next step because your business has grown to the point where it's unmanageable, or if you have a big business and you don't know what the heck is going on, you don't know your numbers, you've got no structure or accountability, and you feel insecure and stressed out, even in a bigger team, reach out to us as well. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.